is the hospital at the Belchertown State School, about 30 beds in this hospital, we understand. And the charge has been made in the lawsuit that many of the physicians are not fully licensed in the state of Massachusetts, and there actually is only one licensed physician on the ground. Is this true or false?
Yes, that's true, Brad. Again, I'd have to qualify my remarks. The physicians are not licensed in this country to practice, say, in a private practice situation. All physicians that come from a foreign country, for instance, have to do somewhat of a residency in this country, and before they get licensed for such a thing as a private practice or working in a general hospital. I've often wondered myself why it is that they're good enough to work with the mentally retarded, but maybe not good enough to work for me or my kids. No? You want to go in and look around now? That's good.
Mr. Knudsen, there have been other charges. Many people who come here to the Belchertown State School are not only retarded, but they have loss of function in an arm or in a leg. The charge has been made that once they're here, it's become increasingly worse. Another charge that 50 orthopedic patients here could have been helped if there was sufficient medical attention as far as operations were performed, let's say, a few years back. Is this all true?
I think 50 is a conservative number. When you have no therapy, such as physical therapy, whatnot, at an institution like this, and you get multiply handicapped people in, it's amazing that you can almost tell their age by the amount of physical deformity they get. In other words, the curvature of the spine or whatnot. And yes, we should have had such things as physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy here long ago. But all of these programs have only started within the last couple of months. I'm happy to say that they're good programs, what we've got now, but we need much more of them. We need to increase the level of staff in those programs. Now, when we talk about surgery, surgery should never have to be a part of this whole picture, because if you get the children young enough, before they start developing these functional handicaps, you should never have to perform surgery. In other words, the services such as physical therapy, whatnot, should take care of it in a prophylactic manner, if you know what I mean. But now we've reached the point where you see many of the children with the extreme tightness of limbs, deformities and whatnot, which the surgeries are only out now. And sometimes that doesn't do the job, you know?
Mr. Argolia, the hospital here at Belchertown State School is not accredited. In fact, the entire school is not accredited. Why is that, and does it hurt the institution?
We simply do not meet many of the staffing ratio and equipment standards set out by the Joint Commission, which accredits hospitals and schools for the retarded. Certainly it would help us if we were, in the sense that if we had more of these kinds of resources, we would be able to have a better school. The piece of paper itself of being accredited isn't significant as far as I'm concerned. It's what it means, what's behind it, that counts.
You mean if you could get accredited, you'd have the things that you need here?
Yes, we'd have many of them.
All right, now, if you had a retarded child, would you commit him or her to Belchertown State School?
That's an extremely difficult question to answer. I don't think any of us who are not parents of retarded children can fully understand what kinds of anxieties and problems that these children can bring into a family. Families that I've seen have undergone tremendous amounts of mental anguish to the point where it was the family or individuals within that family or the child. One or the other was going to break. And I guess if I was faced with that kind of a situation, I might be forced to save myself or my wife or my family to commit my child to an institution such as Belchertown, but it would certainly kill me to do so.